Welcome to my podcast called The Traumatized Man. And as I said in my last video, it's called The Traumatized Man because I am traumatized. Why am I so traumatized? Mainly because I believe it's because I grew up in a fatherless home. And what I mean by that is specifically a man that showed me love, that supported me, that stuck by me, just kind of showed me the meaning of what it means to be a masculine man in this world in a moral loving way by taking care of his children, specifically his sons. That's what I mean by the traumatized man. I feel like in this country we have an epidemic going on, and we have a fatherless generation coming up here that can definitely affect our future. Uh, like I said before, I'm kind of in a stage in my life that is reaching out, doing my part to contribute positively into this country, and because I feel like I've walked this journey of not just a fatherless man, but coming from a life of poverty, coming from a life of being a minority in the part of the country where, my Hispanics were not the dominant ones. Coming from all the impacts of poverty, like lack of education. So yeah, this is what this podcast is about, and I truly believe that we're experiencing a severe epidemic, and it's going to impact our future. Kind of taking it from a different perspective, because as I mentioned, I'm an uneducated migrant Mexican that has a GED education. I'm a fourth degree felon, and I've come from what I feel like the bottom of society, for sure, the bottom of the barrel of the American society at least. And I have been able to navigate my life to a point where I have peace in my life, where I feel confident in myself as a man. I can confidently say I'm a man. I'm a grown man, and I handle my responsibilities. I've been married to my wife for 23 years, going on my 24th. We've been together for 25 years. I'm very proud of that because that's a difficult thing. And in this day and age, it's easy to give up. It's just the reality of it, right? And she stuck by me through all of my stuff, and I stuck by her through all of her stuff. And here we are, and we're very happy. Um, I have a very good relationship with my children. To me, these are the successes of a man. But I didn't know that. I didn't know how to get here. I didn't know what this journey looked like. I didn't have a roadmap, and not that anybody does, but it helps when you have, loved ones in your life that know which way to point you, specifically men, fathers. And so yeah, that's the purpose of this podcast. It's something that I want to do to contribute to positively affect the young men of this country specifically. I did a little bit of Google searching. I guess nowadays that's research. But in the United States, about 1 in 4 children, or approximately 18.3 million children, live without a father in the home. This is a major international outlier, as the U.S. has the highest rate of children living in a single-parent household in the world. Percentage of children living in a single-parent households. The U.S. rate is 23%, which is more than 3 times the global average of 7%. Wow. Percentage of single-parent households led by single mothers. 80% of single-parent households in the U.S. are led by single mothers. The percentage of children living without a biological father varies by race. Black children, 57.6%. Hispanic children, 31.2%. And white children, 20.7%. That in itself, the discrepancy laid out that way, specifically by race, says a lot. It says a lot, and that's a lot of what I'm going to be talking about. Like I said also in the other video, I'm not a race guy. I don't play the race card. But this is a key topic of conversation. It's a key factor of how we look at this thing and how we break it down and how we begin to develop a plan on how we get out of this. For all you young men that are watching this, because I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this so that you have something, some resource to reach out to. So when you're ready to step up and be a man, and I don't blame you because I am you. I watched this video once, marriage movie, and I remember that there was a scene on there where all the guys were getting together. It was a Christian-based movie, but all the guys were getting together and they were asking each other, "How did you know when you were a man?" And "How did you know when you were a man?" And they asked one of the guys, "How did you know when you were a man?" And he said, "When my father told me I was a man." And it blew me away because I've never had a father tell me I was a man. I've never had anybody tell me you're a man. It's almost like an award, right? For the man that you trust the most. He's the only man you'll be able to trust the most, by the way. If he's a good one. He's the only man. And that's what we miss out in. That's what us young men that grow up without a father, that's what we miss out in. So I wanted to read a little bit more here. Fatherless families are associated with many social ills facing children, including being 4 times more likely to raise children in poverty. That's a huge topic, and that's part of what I'm going to be talking about. Having a 71% high school dropout rate. Having a 85% incarceration rate. Wow. I was heading that way. And I am very grateful to the great creator that I did not end up there. I ended up halfway there. I was in the county jail, but I didn't head it. I was on the fast track to it, though. I'll tell you guys more about it. Being 4 times more likely to need help for emotional or behavioral problems. That is absolutely true. I speak from experience, my people. If you're a fatherless man, if you're a fatherless young man, whether you know it or not, you got some, emotional and behavioral issues. And that's what we're going to dig into. From the emotional perspective and how that's entered in and how that is enabled, to the behavioral perspective, where it's more like PTSD. That stuff exists inside of you. And it affects the people that love you. It affects the people that care about you. It hurts the people that care about you and that you care about. Yeah. And it sets you up for a long life of mistakes. And this is what the lack of fatherhood does. It absolutely is what the lack of fatherhood. So here's a little bit more. In the United States, 31.5% of boys under 18 live in a home without a biological father. That's my audience. I'm sure that there is plenty of young men trying to figure out, what's my next move? I don't have any guidance. I don't have any, encouragement, support. Sometimes it does so much, people don't realize that. Facts. In the United States, the majority of single-parent homes are headed by women, with women making up 80% of single parents. Yeah. Those are the facts. And again, the reason why I am making these videos, to contribute. How can I help? And this is definitely, I love technology because we can do things like this and just talk about stuff, right? I know that, again, I'm an uneducated man. I don't consider myself an expert in anything. I'm more of a jack of all trades myself. And I I don't sit here to act like I have all the answers and I know everything. I don't. I want to learn. When you come from the hole that we come from, not just from being a fatherless man, but coming from poverty. Poverty ignites so many things. Even the overall generational curses of dysfunction within the families, the marriages, sexual abuse, physical abuse. Even if you watched your parents physically abuse each other, all of these things, it's just a snowball effect. And here we are. And we wonder why these percentages are so much higher for African Americans, Black people, and Hispanics. We come from poverty. Long that I can only speak from my perspective of what it feels like to be considered a second class citizen without being called a second class citizen. You just know. And again, I'm not one of these people that claim the race card. I think that's stupid. I don't play the race card. I don't want no favors because I'm brown. Don't give me no favors. I'm a grown man. But the reality of this world, it's part of the discussion, and it is part of how I basically formulated my personality and who I was. Molds that are created for you that you have to mold yourself inside of. That's what I really spent my life fighting, is those molds, because I couldn't fit into any of them. I could partially fit into all of them. That's one of the reasons I'm so grateful for my life, for my upbringing. That because, not just because I was fatherless, but I was also motherless. My mother died when I was 12, as I mentioned in the other video, and that it changed my whole life. It changed everything. And those are that type of stuff without a father support, and then feeling more of like a foster kid, because that's what we were. We were awarded the state. My stepfather was there for a short time in the beginning, but he got sent to prison because he struggled with alcoholism. And we got split up and moved to aunts and uncles mainly, and I'm very grateful to those aunts and uncles that helped us. I'm very grateful. So this is all the impacts these are all the things that change a person, right? That cause a person to, and sometimes when we're looked at, people like us, people that are stuck in this poverty mentality, people that are stuck with these issues of lack of work ethic, people that are stuck, specifically young men that have anger issues, right? That have pride issues. They live in a world where so many people are telling them this is what a man is. This is how you're supposed to act. Around other men, it is the alpha male type hierarchy. That's how it is. That's how men are. That we operate like pack animals. That's how we think. But you don't gain anything as humans, and there's so much more to that. There's so much more to who we are. And we need emotional support. We need psychological support. We need to be encouraged sometime. And when you just don't get that. When you don't get that growing up, you don't, and I'm not blaming anybody, you just don't get it. You start to become this kid, this teenager that all of a sudden becomes the troublemaker. You start to become this kid that all of a sudden is looked at like, oh yeah, he did that, bad reputation. And you're not doing it because you want to be bad. You're not doing it because you want to rebel. You just don't know any other way to think. You don't see an avenue. You don't have nobody stopping you and saying, hey, don't act like that. And this is why you don't. And by the way, I'll be here tomorrow too. And the next day, and the next day, to teach you respect. And these young men today, they don't know how to respect authority. They don't know how to respect, period. That's the thing is there's no submission. And I don't mean submission as in weakness. I mean submission as a reverence, respect, reverence, especially those that deserve it, that earned it, that's been there. I hate to see young people disrespect their parents unless they really deserve it. But if those parents were hardworking parents and busted their butt and overall treated you well, whether even if that father was home but still an absentee father, as he spent his whole time working, just be careful with that. If he didn't beat you, he didn't abuse you in any way, just be careful with that. Don't disrespect your parents. Because there is a lot of people that'll get benefits out of these videos that are not fatherless, for example. That maybe their father wasn't at home, but maybe he was selfish. Maybe he was too busy out doing his career. Maybe he was too busy golfing. Maybe he was too busy, whatever, having affairs. He was too busy trying to figure his mess out. Really start looking into what are our options. How do we start navigating out of here? Where does this thing start with me? If you're a young man and you're like, hey, listen, I was fatherless, right? I'm struggling with keeping a job. I don't have my license. I'm 19, 20 years old. I still don't have my license. I'm dealing with partying all the time, going out with my friends, sleeping in mom's basement. All my laundry's done. My food is made. If you're that guy and you're ready, this is the place. Because we're going to start breaking it down. We're going to start talking about what should you start with. What's going to be the first step in a man? And the definition of being a man. My definition of being a man is to be accountable for your actions and responsible for your responsibilities, specifically your family. What does being accountable mean? And what does being responsible mean? Being accountable means let's look in the mirror. Let's start evaluating ourselves. If we're at a point in life where we're not happy with ourselves, we won't admit it because we still have mommy wiping our ass and we still, live perfectly fine, eat good without taking on responsibility or being accountable for our actions. But being accountable is just looking yourself in the mirror and being honest with the reality of your situation. Are you lazy? I mentioned this in our last video, work ethic. Get to freaking work. That's it. That's where it starts. Get off your fucking ass and get to work. That's some real man shit. And you say, well, I tried and nobody's hiring. I get that part. I've been there. But is your yard mowed? Is your driveway clean if you live in a place where it snows a lot? You get up early in the morning, make sure that your mom, your sister, your brother, your younger brother, your wife, your kids, they're not going to be falling on their ass. Is your home clean? Is your room clean? Where you live at? Is it organized? Take pride in yourself. Take pride of everything you put your hands to do. Being a man is having a mission, having a purpose. That's what being a man is. And first and foremost, it starts with the basics of the basics. Work. We're built bigger for a reason. We're built with testosterone and balls for a reason. Not to just fucking go sleep around everywhere. We're built this way so that we can get shit done. That's why we're built this way. This is some real man talk. And if you're sitting around lazy, playing video games all day, and I know there's value in video games. Don't get me wrong. I'm on a gaming computer right now. It's not mine. It's my son's. I just broke into his room and I use it because I need it. But there's nothing wrong with gaming. I know you can make money off of it. It's like you can make, monetize all these things, but it better be you got to have a purpose behind it. What is your goal? What is your mission if you're going to do that? Is it going to bring in an income for you to provide for those that you love? Because your priority, mine is this way. You figure it out. Mine is God and family. If your priority is not family, you ain't a real man. You need to take care of someone. You need to protect someone. And you need to be capable of doing that. In order to be capable of doing that, you have to be able to put in work. You have to learn how to work. You have to learn how to work with your hands. You have to learn how to, as basic as mowing the lawn. Doing, all the edging, picking up all the sticks, plucking some weeds. You learn little things just doing that stuff. Starting the lawnmower, it doesn't want to start. You learn how to start a combustible engine. You learn how to prime the carburetor. You learn all these things and how it works. You got YouTube, guys. You're not like I was. I didn't have YouTube. I was at the mercy of any grown man with experience wanting to show me. This is how you change the brakes. This is how you, and most of it I figured out. Most of it I just went and dug it in. But my point is that you need to work. Step number 1, work. That's what a father teaches a young man. He teaches him not to quit. He teaches him to be a man of his word, to walk with integrity. Integrity. Did Nas say that? Integrity is the most important thing. It works in the streets. It works in the business world. It works with your family. It works in the other dimension, the heavenly places. Integrity. Learn to be a man of your word. You say you're going to do it, do it. I don't care if it hurts. I don't care if it's inconvenient. Step number 1, work. That's what I taught my sons from the day that they were born. Now that's the physical side. There's the emotional side. I did a lot with them from that perspective. Because I noticed that this is what I missed. This is what I missed growing up. I missed a man to nurture me, to teach me, to know when to be rough with me, know when to be straight with me, know when to be loving with me, know when to be encouraging with me. All those little moments when a father's being intentional, speaking into your life, caring about you. And you're a little boy and you're looking up and you're seeing this big, strong man. Even if he wasn't, he looked big to you as a little kid. Step number 1, get to work. You don't have a job, help your mom. Help your wife, help your girlfriend, help whatever. Get to work. Clean your room. Like I'm a big believer in organization and process. Now I know everybody doesn't think that way, and I'm okay with that. You don't have to be super organized and super clean and all that stuff, but I'm a huge believer in organization and process. Purpose of why things are doing what they're doing with an outcome. Creating a process that makes it the most efficient, most successful outcome. That's how I look at things. You don't have to, but just get out and work. Your lawn doesn't need to look like a golf course. I learned that. I used to try. It's hard. But mow the lawn. Step number 1, learn to work. Learn to work when it hurts. Learn to work when it's inconvenient. Learn to work when you got other more important things to do. Work. Enjoy work. Love work. Love the suffer of work. Nothing good in life comes without hard work. That's the curse of us. That's the curse of our kind. That's the curse of this earth. Learn to work. If you plant a seed in the ground and you water it, you cultivate it, it grows and it produces a harvest. That harvest is called success. You got to work. You got to work the ground. You need a little bit of pain. You want to get in shape. You want to lose weight. You want to put on some muscle. You got to work. Step number 1, work. You want to be a real man? Work. Work your ass off, and don't do it for attention. Don't do it so who sees you. I know you go to the gym and that's what it's about, but get in there, set yourself a routine, put your headphones in, rock and roll. Don't look at nobody. Don't look at people looking at you. Make it happen. That's it. Work. Ignore the whole world around you. Make yourself your own center of attention, your own movie star, and your own movie. And you narrow in and zone in on that. Clear your mind and get the work done. And invite the pain. The healthy pain. There's healthy pain. That's the curse that we have on this earth. You have to endure pain to get something good. You have to work the field to get a harvest. You have to go through labor to get a baby. You have to lift weights and get all sore and your muscles hurt to get muscles. You need to work. That's it. Step number 1. You can't work, you ain't coming out of where you're at. It's going to get worse. And yeah, you'll find a couple baby mamas that'll take care of you. You'll have your mama take care of you. For a certain extent. But you're not going to accomplish anything. And when you get to my age and you don't have a family and you don't have kids that respect you, that honor you, that want to honor you, life gets tough, man. So let's get it together. Let's move forward together. Let's learn how to be a man together. I'm learning. I'm nobody special. That's why I'm doing this. Showing you guys, hey, you don't have to be special. You don't have to be chosen. You can want the most basic blessing in life, and that's be a husband and be a father. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. Anybody that tells you it's not, they're wrong. They're wrong. They just don't do it right. They just don't know how to do it. It's a blessing. And it doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you're not tempted. It doesn't mean that whatever. But when you get this level of peace, you're grateful. You're just grateful. I want to encourage you to take the first step. Figure out how to work. Preferably for money, but definitely work for yourself and your family. You got something needs fixed in the house? Fix it. Look it up on YouTube. You're smart enough to do that. Think about that. Don't think about your next movie or your next episode or your next video game. Or the next time you're going to go hang out with whoever. That can wait. Get to work. Mow the lawn. Clean up. Organize. Clean the garage. If you don't have a father in the home and it's just you and your mom or you and your family, who owns the garage? Maybe your mom likes it. Maybe she's good at it. Maybe she organizes the garage. Maybe she doesn't. But if it's not, get your ass up out there and get to cleaning it up. That's a man's territory. I know that's old-fashioned. I know it's traditional. So what? That's man shit. That's what these shows are about, man. That's what these episodes, that's what this podcast is about. Is getting real. Best thing I can do to any young man is be real with you. That's how I roll. I'm real. So again, get to work. I'm going to make a few more videos after this, kind of follow up, tell you a little bit more about my life, some of the things that I experienced as a teenager. I think that'll just spice some things up, I guess. And Yeah, I don't like talking about it, but at the same time, I think it's important that I do. It's nothing bad. It's life. It's life being poor. It's life trying to survive. That's what it is. Being a survivor. That's what we are. If you're a fatherless person, that means you're a survivor. Joke about it, man. You guys are a survivor if you're a fatherless person. Because I'm here to tell you how badass you really are. What you got that the rest of the world don't have. That's what I'm here to tell you. All right, then. God bless.